This shill is really pissed off.
It's a terrible development for the men and women of the FBI. The fact that Kash Patel is profoundly unqualified for this job is not even like a matter for debate.
I think he's very qualified, and I'm happy at what I think is one of the most important appointees by Donald J. Trump for his future presidential administration. As there's a lot of people being very pissed off, we're going to tell you why that's very important right now, as well as the implications, as well as the possibilities. There's still a Senate confirmation hearing coming up. There's a lot of other things happening behind the scenes here. Oh boy, this is a big deal, and we'll tell you why specifically in this video. As you just saw, the disgrace, corrupted establishment, former deputy director of the FBI, essentially saying this.
Andrew, I just want to start first with you and just get your reaction to this news tonight.
A perfect representation done by Paulie Rican on social media. Go follow him. As the memes do not stop there, highlighting a major recall to all the very corrupted, evil people in our society that, of course, will now be dealt with in a proper fashion. As a lot of people are saying that this is how the FBI headquarters will be looking in 2025. And for a lot of people, it hasn't sinked in yet. But man, this is a major deal here. The memes are incredible, as even Elon Musk has officially declared that cancel culture has been canceled. Cancel culture that was pushed on by the federal authorities and intel agencies that, of course, were using it as their own form of political suppression of ideas that they hated and didn't like that really was against them and the corporate interests that they truly served. Sorry, a little tangent there. As Elon Musk also tweeted, ALX, who said Kash Patel is a threat to the bureaucracy, and he is. As this was me and the boys' reaction to all of this. And of course, I know Kash. I think he's great. I think he's awesome. And I think all of us symbolically had this kind of reaction last night to everything that unfolded, as it sure put a big smile on my face.
And tonight with a Fox News alert. President-elect Donald Trump has
Let's go! As, of course, a major arm of the Stasi, a major arm of essentially the modern-day American KGB that goes after their political opponents. And if you look at what's been kind of happening to a lot of my friends, there's a reason I'm breathing with a sigh of relief here. Look at what happened to James O'Keefe that had his door broken down, devices captured, investigated, after deciding not to even run the Ashley Biden diary story. Look at what happened to Roger Stone, that literally had FBI agents, along with CNN, literally bust down his door in the middle of the morning. Look what happened to Steve Bannon. Look what happened to Alex Jones. Look what's really going on here. And you see a perspective of the main battering ram of the establishment now finally being put in check, which means if Kash Patel is going to get Senate approval and is going to become the new FBI director, there's one last thing we have to worry about as independent media and political voices in this country, and that is the political prosecution of us because of our political ideas. That right there is a major burden off of all of our shoulders, as that's not the only big implication here. As Kash Patel is extremely based, is extremely smart, and extremely capable for the job, as he was Trump's former director of intelligence. As he announced on Truth Social, this is from Donald Trump himself, quote, "I am proud to announce that Kash Patel will serve as the next director of the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Kash is a brilliant lawyer, investigator, and America First fighter. He's the guy that, by the way, broke the whole Russian collusion story. And if it wasn't for him, all of the lies surrounding that major lie would have never came out to the general public. He truly is an America First kind of exposer of a lot of the deep state dirty tricks. He has experience in exposing it, and he puts his money where his mouth is. He is, again, the most brilliant, most capable, best pick for this particular job, as there is still some questions as if he would be potentially not appointed to this position, which made me and a lot of other independent media figures tweet about this furiously. And it looks like the Donald Trump campaign that is paying attention to what people are saying online did see that, along with a lot of other individuals that were screaming about this for the past few days, and actually listened to the constituents, listened to the people that overwhelmingly retweeted, voted, hearted, and said, yeah, I'm with you guys here. We want to see this guy in this particular position. And that right there highlights how it's not the special interests kind of deciding who's going to be in Donald Trump's administration, even though there's some other sketchy picks that we'll talk about in a little bit. But with this particular choice, it is clearly a voice of the American people. As Trump goes on saying he's an America First fighter who has spent his career exposing corruption, defending justice, and protecting the American people. He played a pivotal role in uncovering the Russia hoax, standing as an advocate for truth, accountability, and the Constitution. Kash did an incredible job during my first term, where he served as Chief of Staff as the Department of Defense, Deputy Director of National Intelligence, and Senior Director for Counterterrorism at the National Security Council. Kash has also tried over 60 jury trials. The FBI will end the growing crime epidemic in America, dismantle the migrant criminal gangs, and stop the evil scourge of human and drug trafficking across the border. Kash will work under our great Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to bring back fidelity, bravery, and integrity to the FBI. As Elon Musk tweeted, based. As Mike Benz said, it's legal to say based again without ending up on an FBI database. As the FBI predominantly was going after a lot of right-wingers, a lot of pro-lifers, a lot of people who literally said the word based and connected it with red pill and extremism. As it's fair to say here that the DOJ was a little politically skewed for the last few years, as they used and abused their positions of power to go after people because of their larger political ideology. As the last FBI director here clearly highlighted his bias in a very unprofessional way, as he clearly campaigned for Biden-Harris. He talked about electing more women, as the FBI literally took a knee in support of Black Lives Matter, a larger political movement and ideology that was also responsible for, 36 plus deaths and the burning down of a lot of middle America. As now people are saying Kash Patel isn't professional enough to run the FBI. Are you kidding me? You're talking about these people right here? These masked, knee-taken goobers that were going along with the corporate media and were specifically saying, if you protest for Black Lives Matter, you don't spread any sicknesses and illnesses. You're going to be totally fine. But if you protest the lockdowns and mask mandates and all these other things, you're going to be a super spreader and you're going to kill grandma. As the FBI was also investigating people who were not for the lockdowns, not for, the procedure, not for going along, but if you went along with everything, they had your full support. They got on that knee. They pumped that fist. They put their heads down. As clearly the organization has been hijacked by a larger ideology that made it look like a very unbiased, untruthful organization that also has a long track record of confiscating a lot of very interesting videotapes, tapes from, the safe of Mr. Epstein, Mr. Diddy, and those tapes, mysteriously just disappeared. The FBI also has a horrible track record of responding to small children and adolescents that literally have gone to them and said, hey, this powerful person hurt me. And the FBI literally looked at the kid and said, yeah, we'll write a report and won't do anything about it for 30 plus years. Jesus Christ. And again, the failures of the FBI, specifically when it comes to Diddy, Epstein, that children came to in the 90s. And there's other cases too, specifically that one other gymnast as well. So many disgusting behaviors. And now, finally, we have one of the most based, smartest, intelligent people taking reign of that organization and hopefully making all of the wrongs that they committed right. As Wall Street Mav is also reporting that the staff in the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Office of the FBI are threatening to resign if he is confirmed as the head of the FBI, as there are mass resignations planned, as clearly, ideologically, Kash Patel is opposed to a lot of the very ingrained bureaucratic leadership of the FBI that clearly abuses their position of power. And the conversation that Kash was able to start, even specifically on shows that I've been on with him, have clearly been next level and show his attention to detail when it comes to a lot of the kind of misdoings of the establishment. As of course, previously on Tim Pool, he also mentioned this specifically surrounding the J6 story, which is a major story that a lot of people should be paying attention to.
It looks like you have a preponderance of evidence suggesting there may have been federal law enforcement involved in making that thing happen.
I'll get you beyond a reasonable doubt.
All
Two
right.
pieces of information. Ray Epps was on FBI's most wanted list one day, and the next day he was off of the FBI's most wanted list. There are only two ways that happens. You die, or your informant. Put that aside. Under congressional testimony, Jill Sanborn, who I used to work with, the head of the FBI Counterintelligence Division, in charge of all these investigations, testified under oath when Senator Cruz asked her, flat out, were there federal agents involved with January 6th? And she said, quote, Senator, I can't answer that at this time. Not if the answer was definitively no, having been a DOJ FBI guy myself, she would have gone there and said, nope, absolutely not. The reason she said I can't answer that is because of the same stonewalling they gave us during Russiagate with Christopher Steele, Halper, and everybody else. It's the same narrative, and I'm telling you they were there.
As it definitely takes balls and scruples to expose a lot of the kind of deep state operations, a lot of the kind of undercover work that's been done, and a lot of the kind of underhanded larger political ploys of this very partisan political organization that is abusing their judicial power over the American people. And again, shouts out to Donald Trump for doing this, as there was a lot of pushback. There's a reason why Trump kind of waited as long as he did, as we found out after talking to Roger Stone, that in this clip kind of describes what's really happening behind the scenes with Donald Trump right now, who clearly is picking a lot of very badass people in roles of government where, in my opinion, they are desperately needed.
I think it's abundantly clear that the president, who had a great presidency in his first term, but who came to Washington as a stranger to politics, and I think initially thought, well, the Republicans are my team, the Democrats are the other team, but was undermined by a number of Republicans, is not going to make any of the errors that he made in his first term. Now, he still gave us the most robust economy in our history. We built our military strength, kept us out of war. But I think this time he is more deeply involved in the process himself. He's not just looking at cabinet secretaries, but he's looking at deputy secretaries, assistant secretaries. This is going to be an America First administration, top to bottom. And I think everybody's picked so far, generally speaking, one or two that I wouldn't have been my choice, but overall, Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth. These people are first rate, and they understand that it is the Trump agenda, the America First agenda that they are to carry out, not their own agenda.
And let's be honest here, when you compare this administration of Donald Trump to the 2016 administration, this one is a lot more impressive. This one is a lot more anti-establishment, is a lot more willing to shake things up, as it definitely does seem like Donald Trump did learn a lot of his lessons from the past 8 years. And again, some of the picks I'm not happy about. We'll go over some of the latest ones that I'm not really happy about. But when you have some of the most capable, intelligent people that know where the skeletons are buried, that right there is absolutely amazing. And every time I had an opportunity with Kash to speak about those things, I made sure to take full advantage of it, as this is what he had to say when I had a conversation with him.
The point is, people now know that a lot of times the U.S. government has lied to them, and has done stuff for their self-interest over the American citizens. And my point to, the president was when I was like, dude, I'm the Russiagate guy. Like, I figured out the FBI lied to the world. Hillary paid for it. Like, you got to just give me like 27 seconds. Like, let's put this stuff out. And it was a monster fight to get the Nunes memo out, to get all those documents out. But there's a way to do it. Now that Americans know that other stuff exists, I think President Trump's strongest point, I think he said this publicly, is like he's going to have one of these offices or commissions that puts this stuff out. And everyone can request information, be like, hey, I want the Bay of Pigs information out. I want the whatever documents out. And I think
JFK
that's the way to do it.
The Epstein documents.
Right. The Epstein Black Book, like on day one.
The Iran-Contra documents, the MK Ultra documents. Keep going.
No, that's why you're going to be the vice president of the Declassification Office.
As there's so many other more documents, so many more investigations, so many more kind of internal details to see how the sausage is made here behind the scenes, that for the first time in a long time, we're getting the possibility of seeing it all being done right in front of our eyes. And I think when the American people see that, it will be not just game-changing, but absolutely revolutionary. And I don't know about you, but with the way that things are shaping up, the way that things are moving, I could see why there's so many desperate kind of attempts and actions to spark off literal frickin' global conflicts in order to prevent this from happening. Now, again, nothing is kind of assured here. The memes are incredible, and they're pretty great here. Like this one, highlighting Kash in the middle as Mr. T here. We got Tulsi Gabbard in there, RFK, Elon, Trump as well. But we got to understand here, there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to be happy with this, and they're going to be doing everything in their power to prevent it. As Sky News reports that the deep state corruption in the sight of Trump's FBI director pick Kash Patel, and the deep state doesn't like to be exposed. As in Germany, Spiegel are calling him an ultra right-wing conspiracy theorist, as the slander has already begun, showing their desperate attempts from hijacked media organizations that also have extensive ties to the U.S. intelligentsia that usually write the script for them to regurgitate to the public there. I'm looking at you, Uday Ufkaft, famous German journalist that no longer is with us, that literally described how the CIA would write stories for him that he would just put his name on. As Fox News, I think, has a pretty clear title here, talking about how Kash Patel's nomination sparks enthusiasm, anxiety, as the future of the FBI appears uncertain. Good! Absolutely good! They deserve to be held accountable. They deserve to be uncertain about their future, since their past is riddled with controversies, skeletons, and the abuse of their power against the American people. And Kash, again, he's been hitting the nail on the head for a very long time, as of course, this is what he also said on a previous podcast after discussing, the release of the Epstein files as well.
FBI has come out of its intel shops. I'd break that component out of it. I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I'd take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops. You're cops. Go be cops. Go chase down murderers and drug dealers and violent offenders. What do you need 7,000 people there for? Same thing with DOJ. What are all these people doing here? Looking for their next government promotion, looking for their next fancy government title, looking for their parachute out of government. So while you're bringing in the right people, you also have to shrink government.
Damn right! As of course, how that right there is music to my ears, and should be music to everyone else's ears as well, that's been sick of all the larger government abuse out there. And the FBI, the organization that was created under J. Edgar Hoover, that was literally telling MLK to go off himself, that was spying on people, that when MLK was in jail, they literally were releasing the audio tapes of MLK being a dirty dog to his wife, trying to get him to break up with her. Again, so many dirty tricks played by this larger institution, so much compromise, so much extortion. And we have the chance right now for all of that to be exposed. Yes, please, and more. I don't know about you, but I am excited about this. I'm optimistic about this. And I am hoping and praying that he gets approved by the Senate. That's, again, the bigger ball game here. Matt Gaetz also tweeted this, saying, hey, FBI, what can Brown do for you? As the future looks bright, there's a big fight ahead. But for me, Christmas kind of came early with this news, especially being able to breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that not only is the FBI not going to try to make things up to try to attack me and undermine me and take me out like they did so many other people in my professional field, but more importantly, man, we could get some of the biggest disclosures, some of the biggest declassification efforts, some of the biggest kind of eye-opening perspectives on what's happening here in a way that we have never seen before. And if that's not worth celebrating, I don't know what is. And if you agree with me, share this video with your friends and family members. We literally have a campaign right now called SaveLukeNow.com. That's the website. It's in the description. That's helping me get funds for a lawyer, since we're dealing with surprise IRS bills in the tune of money that I just don't have. So we got to fight this thing, and we're fighting it not just by, asking for money. Again, you could donate. That's the third option that we have for you guys, and your donations do mean a lot to us, specifically when it comes to getting a lawyer, fighting all this, and figuring this out. But the best way to support us is to sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com. 6 original videos just for members that no one else sees unless you are a member. Go check that out. Really great, powerful videos available on that particular platform. But also seed oil cards, crap list of items at the supermarket. I got like 20 different things that I offer people just for signing up as a member of LukeUnfiltered.com. And I think the best and easiest is to check out our limited edition items that we're only doing 100 of. We still have a few left. They're selling out pretty fast, but we have personally signed hats and signs that are available only on SaveLukeNow.com at a little bit of a premium. That little bit of a premium helps us make money. We take that money, we get that lawyer, we fight, and then we, of course, survive as an independent media organization. SaveLukeNow.com, where we only got 100 of these hats. We only have a few of them left. We only have a few of those signs, and once we get rid of them, we're not going to be bringing these signs back. We're not going to be bringing these hat backs. They're limited edition items only for the people who, of course, fundraise for us. So make sure to get yourself on some limited edition signed merchandise that is only going to be available for you. I think I'm going to start marking these like one of 100. We already sold out a bunch, which sucks, but I think we're going to do another tally, and then we're going to write how many of these hats you're actually getting, what edition number hats and signs you're actually getting, because again, they're not coming back anytime soon. Get them exclusively on SaveLukeNow.com. Get a piece of memorabilia, a piece of a little history there, and because you do, I'm still able to be here as an independent journalist, which I wouldn't if it wasn't for you guys overwhelmingly supporting us, being there for us, which I am internally grateful for. I can't thank you guys enough for everything you guys have done for me. Your attention, you voting with your clicks, you sharing this video, again, is something that humbles me every single day. And I am deeply appreciative and grateful to everything that we have been doing for the past 20 plus years. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.